Hi everybody, I'm Chris Carrabba from the band Dashboard Confessional. I'm answering your Buzzworthy blog fan questions today, and I'm going to start right away with this one from Jathay. At least that's how I think you say this name, Jathay. Jathay asks, is there any news or even just an idea of doing a UK tour anytime soon? You guys are awesome. I agree, and thank you. Well, there's no news announced yet, but there are plans in the making for us coming to the UK. The last time we were set to come to the UK, we ran into some trouble and weren't able to get over there. So we had to cancel the short tour we had planned there. But I believe we're going to be there in May. And I think we'll also be there for a short while in January. So I'll look for you, Jathay. Okay, this question comes from SND. The question is, well, I suppose the statement starts. I know you were the lead vocalist for Further Seems Forever, which differs from the lighter and more laid-back tones of Dashboard. Was that a big transition for you? Well, it was a seamless transition for me. I was doing them at the same time in the beginning, and so I had all this energy that I was pouring into Further, and I had a different approach to music that didn't fit Further because it was so laid-back. It was different. Well, I don't know if laid-back's the right term, but there was a little less screaming and distortion. So I started Dashboard as another way to, I didn't realize it was going to be a separate project altogether, a separate band, but it was just something to do with these songs that I didn't think would fit with Further. And was surprised to find that they were more important to me as it turned out. So this question comes from someone. Nikki Laraline? I don't know. Please don't send hate mail because I can't read. I'm doing the best I can. Anyway, the question says, hey Chris, any connection between Get Me Right and New Moon? Maybe that's just wishful thinking. Either way, it's a new favorite. Well, as I haven't seen New Moon yet, there is no connection. However, you're not the first person to ask the question, so there must be something thematic that runs through both stories. So it's on my list of things to do immediately, if not sooner, is to go get a day off finally and be able to see this movie and figure out the connection there. Dirty Jers wants to know, I suppose it's Dirty Jersey. Dirty Jersey wants to know, my question for Chris would be, if you were 27 and no one knows who you are, but you've got 20 original songs or so in your back pocket, what would be your first move towards eventually getting your big break? Well, step one is to get out of your hometown. Well, actually, that's step two. Step one is to play your hometown until you've exhausted it and mined it for all it's worth and learned everything you can from playing with all the players in your hometown, learning as much and excelling as much as you can in your small town. And then taking that, what you've learned, and trying to show it elsewhere and learn. Always try to be learning from wherever you go. Wherever you go, play with, hopefully you can always do what I do, is always try to play with a local act as well as somebody maybe you're touring with, so you can learn something from what they've learned. And there's a lot to be said for where people always think, should I get a manager or should I try to get a label? I think you just should try to get as good as you think you can possibly get, and then maybe try to get a little bit better than that by traveling around and playing with as many people as you can find that will let you play with them. Jessica says, hi, I just want to know what inspires you to write, or who are your sources of inspiration and your influences? Well, I get inspired by all kinds of things. I get inspired when I'm not expecting it, that's for sure. My inspirations, I guess I read quite a bit, and there's a lot of books that I read many years ago that suddenly find their stories weave into mine later on in songs. Like Tobias Wolff is a big favorite of mine, or was, especially when I was younger. And I found myself recently writing a song, and I said, that turn of phrase sounds suspiciously familiar. And I had to dig through books and say, oh, yes, certainly ripped that one off. That song went in the trash can, but it was a good one while it lasted. Rar wants to know, what song do you like to sing the most? What is your favorite song that you've written and why? Well, I don't really have a favorite song of my own, and the song that I like to sing the most on any given night always changes as the audience changes every night. It seems to be dictated by how the audience responds, and I walk away thinking a different one every night is my favorite of all time. Nat wants to know what my favorites are. my favorite books, movies, so on. So my favorite book. Well, let's go on with the question. I can't choose just one. Favorite TV show, Deadwood. Favorite food, I like peanut butter. Favorite sports team, Miami Heat. Martina wants to know, would you be able to give an example of an interesting situation that has heavily influenced a song in one of your albums? Well, yeah, my sister was in a terrible car accident, was in a coma for quite a while I was writing this record. There's a song called Until Morning, where I'd come home from the hospital and needing to escape that feeling, picked up a guitar and started writing a song, and that's the most direct influence I've ever had from an in-the-moment kind of thing where I was actually writing about what I was presently going through. I think that's the only time I've ever done that before. Mary wants to know, did I plan the EP So Impossible in the way that it would tell a story as it did? I did plan that, and I wrote it sequentially, and it's still a fun story to tell. Jackie wants to know, what was the story behind These Bones on the Shade of Poison Trees? Well, the answer is I'm not dying, which seems to be collectively what my fans thought once I released these songs. Beyond that, I don't think I'm going to divulge the specifics, because I think the song should remain to you what it is to you and not what it is to me, unless, of course, you think it's that I'm dying, and then, of course, you're wrong. I hope. Well, thanks, everybody, for all these great questions. Go check out my latest and greatest, and I hope to see you soon on tour.